Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. The misuse of fireworks during the holidays are once again tonight being reviewed by the Sioux City City Council. KCAU 9 News reporter Lydia Vasquez explains where City Council members stand on the issue and how fireworks impact people suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder in our top story right now at 5.
What I have a problem with is firecrackers.
Post-traumatic stress is what some veterans say makes it difficult for them to celebrate holidays involving fireworks.
Because of the popping. And when you eat enough of that, it brings back the popping of gunfire. Then I have flashbacks of Vietnam and other places that you don't want to know about.
Steve Hanner is a Marine Corps veteran. He says it's easier to deal with fireworks when he knows they're coming, unlike days before and after a holiday when the unexpected blasts are troubling. In Sioux City, fireworks are allowed from 1 o'clock New Year's Eve until 12:30 a.m. New Year's Day.
We have to define it and refine it and narrow that time period when that window's open, when fireworks are being discharged, so that those that are in need, that need to take care of themselves, they have an opportunity to do that. It's not over a 5, 6, 7 week span of fireworks going off at different hours of the day and night.
Sioux City Mayor Pro Tem Dan Moore wants to see more public messaging regarding fireworks. He says it's another way to protect people like Steve Hanner.
Because you don't want to be around when I start having those big flashbacks. I get very mean, belligerent, and violent. I can't really control it. And I'll hurt somebody, and I don't want to.
If passed, a new citywide ordinance would fine property owners and hold them liable for illegally discharging fireworks. Even if the measure doesn't get approval, Moore says he hopes people get to know their neighbors better, adding it's another way to better understand why some are so fearful of times like New Year's. In Sioux City, Lydia Vasquez, KCAU 9 News.
An Elk Point man connected to a Lake Park murder last week was taken into custody over the weekend following a high-speed chase. 23-year-old Justice Bernston is currently charged with felony eluding following that pursuit through the north side of Sioux City. That chase ending when Bernston hit another car, injuring the driver. The Iowa Department of Criminal Investigation says that Bernston was being sought in connection to a homicide investigation in Lake Park. Last week, police discovered a woman's body after receiving a 911 call. The DCI has not said what role Bernstein might have had in the homicide. He is currently being held in the Woodbury County Jail. Federal officials tonight have identified the man believed to be behind Nashville's Christmas Day bombing incident and are now piecing together a possible motive behind the explosion that severely damaged dozens of buildings in downtown and injured 3 people. In just a few days, hundreds of tips and leads have been submitted to law enforcement agencies there. Yet thus far, officials have not provided any information on what possibly drove Warner to set off the explosion. According to officials, he had not been on their radar before Christmas.
He was not on our radar. He was not someone that was that was identified as a person of interest for the Bureau, and so we were not familiar with this individual until this incident.
Investigators are currently analyzing property belonging to Warner that was collected during this investigation. That includes a computer and a portable storage drive. Highway workers are currently gearing up for tomorrow's dose of winter weather. Local Iowa DOT plow drivers spent today topping off tanks and changing out blades. Again, this is all in preparation for the second significant snowfall in just a week's time. Ron Gleaser, the highway supervisor for Sioux City, says it's nothing they can't handle.
If we used to have like a 3 or 4 dayer, yeah, then it gets kind of rough. But these, we can have them wrapped up usually within 24 hours after the storm ends.
It's also nothing our weather team here can't handle. Marcus Beasley joining us now with an update on tomorrow's storm. Marcus?
Hey, Sophie, it does look like we are going to see that snow here throughout Siouxland tomorrow. As far as our temperatures go out there today, we really haven't seen temperatures too awfully cold for this time of year. High temperatures ranging anywhere from the mid to upper 20s to even lower 30s throughout Siouxland. 31 in Sioux City, Wayne, and Yankton today. 28 in Lamar's. 23 was your recorded high in Storm Lake, so a little bit cooler there. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures drop down into the lower to mid-teens, so a very cold night. We'll have clouds increasing. We might begin to see a few of those snowflakes fly, especially in western Siouxland, right around sunrise tomorrow morning. But throughout the day tomorrow is looking like a very wintry day throughout Siouxland. I'll let you let you know how much snow we're expecting coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Taking a look now at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Siouxland. Woodbury County has officially surpassed the 12,000 total case mark. Health officials reporting 19 cases in 24 hours. 34 patients are currently in hospital due to COVID-19. In Nebraska, Dakota County officials reporting 27 new cases between December 24th and today. There are also 56 confirmed deaths. And in South Dakota, officials in Yankton County reporting 24 total deaths and more than 2,400 total cases. It's been less than 24 hours since President Trump signed the latest COVID-19 relief bill. Siouxlanders tonight already reacting to this news. The pandemic aid package, roughly $900 billion, decided within a nearly 6,000-page-long legislation report. That's the longest bill ever. But just because you received a check in the first round of stimulus in the spring of 2019 does not mean you'll be receiving this second round.
If you filed your 2019 tax return after the stimulus check was sent to you, the first round, which was based on 2018 for sure, then your 2019 filing will determine whether you get it or not. You may got the first round, but you not get the second round because your 2019 October 15 filing, it was over that threshold.
The threshold to qualify has remained the same as it was in the last stimulus bill. Most Americans who qualify should be receiving their check within the next couple of months. This evening, the House of Representatives plans to override President Trump's veto of the defense bill. Our Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson reports.
The House interrupted its holiday break to return to Washington to vote on overriding the president's veto of the defense bill.
The National Defense Authorization Bill has been bipartisan, supported by Republicans and Democrats for decades.
California Congressman Josh Harder said the president's veto would damage the nation's military. The bill sets defense policy, includes pay raises for U.S. troops, equipment modernization, and more.
For one thing, is there's a lot of measures in this defense bill to keep our military safe from COVID.
The NDAA passed both houses of Congress with enough votes to override a veto if Republican lawmakers decide to break with President Trump. The president said he vetoed the bill over a directive to rename military bases named for Confederate generals, and because the bill did not contain a provision to crack down on social media companies.
I understand some of the president's arguments, but I believe that supporting our military takes precedence here.
North Carolina Republican Congressman Greg Murphy said he was breaking with the president and voting to override.
My district is heavily, has a heavy military presence. I think it was very, very crucial.
I don't think any Republicans want to vote against pay raises for our nation's military, vote against veterans' health care.
The Republican majority Senate plans its override vote on the $740 billion bill later this week. In Washington, I'm Rashad Hudson.
Today is the opening day for the Great Bear Ski Resort up in Sioux Falls. The ski resort has been busy making snow over the past few weeks. While slopes are open for skiers and snowboarders, the tubing hill is not quite ready yet. The resort is requiring guests to wear masks and have them ready at their cars. Employees are wearing masks and doing some extra cleaning too. Great Bear's general manager says he expects about 700 to 800 people to come out. The Sioux City Community Theater just got a boost to help them recover from COVID-19. The theater has been given a $5,000 recovery grant. This is from the Iowa Arts Council. The grants were all made possible by CARES Act funding. The theater's organizers say the money will now go to support projects and programs at the theater. The community theater has found a few creative ways, though, to put on performances this year despite COVID-19. That includes a radio show and parking lot style events. A North Carolina couple has an extra reason to be thankful this holiday season after their 1-pound baby boy continues growing after being born so prematurely. We have their story coming up.
And it's looking like winter weather advisories throughout Siouxland for tomorrow. And that means a snowy Tuesday. Also a cold start to 2021. Details on all of that after the break.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and meteorologist Marcus Beasley. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us on this Monday. Not a bad day for people to go back to work. We had some sunshine, and here it looks like some clouds have rolled in, but we're still getting sort of a sunset.
Right, we're seeing a little bit of sun peeking through those clouds there on the horizon, creating that orange glow out there. But for the most part, we're really seeing those clouds begin to move into the area now, and that will continue overnight tonight. The view from the KCAU 9 studio brought to you by the Port Neal Welding Company, showing those mostly cloudy skies again. A little bit of that orange glow there on the horizon, but for the most part, clouds will thicken up overnight tonight. Temperatures outside, they are in the lower to mid 20s throughout much of the area. We're even seeing some mid to upper teens in parts of eastern Siouxland, 16 in Storm Lake, 17 in Spencer, 23 currently in Carroll and Denison. Here in Sioux City, 22 degrees right now. Currently 23 in Yankton and 25 in Wayne. Looking at wind chill values, those are in the lower 20s as well. We're really not seeing too much wind out there. 22 on Saturday and Sunday into the low to mid 30s. And next week, we could even reach up into the 40s on Monday, and then things cool back down for the middle part of next week.
Fairly pleasant. I know those nighttime low temperatures not necessarily average, but really the rest of it is where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not really going to be too bad of a week after we get through tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcus. Well, make sure to watch for more Siouxland stories. They do air every Thursday on KCAU 9 News at both 5 and 10 o'clock. Also on Fridays at midday. So like today, if you know someone with a unique story, we want you to share it with us. Email us at news@kcautv.com so the rest of Siouxland can hear about them. Now, you might think you gave your significant other the perfect Christmas present this year, but one woman in North Carolina probably has you beat. We share that couple's story coming up in about 10 minutes. But first, another couple has a lot to be thankful for this Christmas as their 1-pound newborn is beating the odds. We have their story right after the break. Welcome back. A new mom and dad in North Carolina say they have a lot to be grateful for this holiday season as their 1-pound baby continues recovering in the hospital. Reporter Haley Fixler tonight brings us their story.
He helps the elves make toys.
Despite every obstacle, Brandy and Harold STULTZ are blessed to have their son Carter in their lives.
Rudolph loves to help Mrs. Claus bake all kinds of holiday cookies.
On his first Christmas, he's not sleeping in a crib like most newborns. He's in an incubator, hooked up to breathing machines.
We're here pretty much all day, every day.
For the past several weeks, the couple has made the NICU at Brenner Children's Hospital their home, praying for their little fighter and letting him know how much he's loved.
It just sucks to have to see him go through so much to be so little, but he's strong.
So were his parents. They struggled to have children.
We actually did IVF for him. We had a miscarriage in 2018.
Through prayers and with the help of God, they say they got the gift they always wanted.
So it's just been a blessing to actually have a child.
It's been the best in the world.
Carter was born weighing 1 pound, 6.9 ounces. Now he's up to 2 pounds.
We still haven't been able to hold him yet. We can only touch him.
Every day, they count on the little wins.
It's just very hard when you sit there and you lay there and look at him and you just can't do anything for him, and you wish you could just hold him and just breathe for him and make him stronger.
And their family and friends giving them support to keep Carter strong.
We're just gonna tough it out until he comes home. You can't ever take anything for granted.
A North Carolina woman gave her husband the gift of life this Christmas time after finding out she was a perfect match for a transplant he needed. We have their story coming up right after this break. A North Carolina couple recently learned they were definitely and literally made to be together after what doctors say is a medical miracle. Lindsay Klein brings us their story.
The noise of music notes ring out from the Zanos family piano inside their home on Christmas Eve.
It's kind of like a Christmas miracle almost.
It really kind of feels that way.
You see, Carrie Zano didn't think her husband Mike would be sitting here by her side this Christmas.
I said this will be the first Christmas in 29 years. I haven't been with your dad.
You see, just 8 days ago, Mike Zano underwent surgery for chronic kidney disease.
It really was a miracle that everything came together in light of a COVID situation.
But the real miracle was in the miraculous discovery that was made when these two lovebirds found out that Carrie was Mike's perfect kidney match.
Ended up being a match for his kidney, which just blew everybody absolutely away.
So without any hesitation, Carrie fulfilled a lifelong goal of becoming an organ donor And to make the moment even more magical, it was all for her own husband.
It's 1 in 100,000 for non-related people to be matched.
I mean, that's true love right there.
Unconditional. I mean, and there was never a hesitation. I mean, and I'd like to think that I would do the same thing for her as well.
A story of unconditional love and perfect proof this holiday season that miracles can, in fact, happen.
There's a reason that we were put together 30 years ago, and there's a reason that hopefully we'll be together in another 30 years.
Beautiful story. Taking a live look outside right now. Marcus returns with one more check on our forecast coming up next, so stay with us. Before wrapping up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, good afternoon, Sophie, and it's good to be back with you after a few days off. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of folks keeping their eye on the sky today. That's, of course, because there's snow approaching. Some communities already posting snow emergencies. We'll sort through those and bring you up to speed again. That's coming up right at 6 o'clock. Elsewhere tonight, second round of stimulus relief is headed to folks. KCAU 9 News reporter Mallory Smith today digging into who is qualified to receive that extra cash. She spent the afternoon talking with Siouxlanders about what they're thinking about the long-awaited payments. That's after World News Tonight. And also at 6, learning to fly a plane would be an amazing opportunity. Now some teenagers are putting their newfound skills to work to help animals. Find out how. We'll have their story coming up again. That's all at 6 o'clock.
Very cool, and welcome back, Tim. Thanks a lot. And a quick check on our weather overnight.
It's going to be a cold one tonight. Temperatures dropping down into the mid-teens. Expect those clouds to increase. We might see a few snowflakes fly early tomorrow, at least tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, all-day snow.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you back here tonight at 6. And until then, have a great night.